A very good evening and welcome to this Sunday's edition of News First Weekend, coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudannayak. First, let's take a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
Woman who swallowed 87 packets of cocaine arrested in Katunayaka. Reginald Kure appointed governor of the Northern Province. A warning from Minister Amnugama to those violating the discipline of the SLFP. West Indies wins their first Under-19 Cricket World Cup.
Before we take a look at our top stories, a reminder to our viewers that you can join the conversation on current news topics on Twitter by following @newsfirst_en and using the hashtags featured on our main stories tonight. Former Minister Reginald Kure took oaths as the new governor of the Northern Province before President Maithripala Sirisena this morning.
The swearing-in ceremony was held at the President's house in Colombo. The President's media division said that Reginald Kure is to assume duties on the 16th of this month. HMGS Palihakara served as the previous governor of the Northern Province. An English teacher by profession, Reginald Kure commenced his political journey as a West Councillor in 1988. Kure also served as Chief Minister of the Western Province and was also elected as an MP on several instances. Reginald Kure, who served as a Deputy Minister and a Minister, is also a senior member of the SLFP.
Taking a look at our developing story for tonight, a Venezuelan woman who has swallowed 87 packets of cocaine to smuggle it into the country was arrested by customs officers at the Katunayaka airport today.
It has come to light that the woman in question, who had arrived on a flight from Dubai last morning, had alerted the suspicions of authorities who discovered the drugs upon further inspection. The Customs Department said she had travelled to the country from Brazil via Dubai. Investigations have revealed that the woman is about 62 years of age. She has been admitted to the Nigambo hospital where the procedure to remove the packets of cocaine from her body has commenced.
Venetian lady, she is 62 years old, has been arrested by the staff of Customs Narcotic Unit yesterday at the airport with cocaine. She has swallowed 87 pellets of cocaine and she has been admitted to the Nigambo hospital, and at the moment 64 pellets have been obtained from her body, and suspect that the total weight of the cocaine is more than 500 grams. And the investigations are being carried out by the customs staff, narcotic control unit staff at the airport.
Has this particular suspect brought drugs to the country on a previous occasion as well?
No, investigations are being carried out, but still she is in the Nigambo hospital. Once he discharged from the hospital only, we can investigate further.
Now, Mr. Leslie Gamney, according to investigations so far, could it be said that this is the work of an individual, or is it a drug racket?
No, still we are unable to say that. We couldn't question her because still she is in the hospital.
What about, has this particular suspect of this particular Venezuelan woman, has she come to the country before?
No, according to the passport, she has not come to Sri Lanka before. This is the first time, and she came to Sri Lanka from Dubai via Brazil.
And finally, what is the penalty for smuggling cocaine?
Keeping 2 grams of cocaine is the death penalty, according to the Dangerous Drugs Act.
Investigators say that the high-end party drug cocaine sells for about 20,000 rupees per gram in Sri Lanka. Venezuela, the South American country from where the woman arrested today hails from, has been under the spotlight on several occasions for international drug trafficking. The UN says the drug trafficking via Venezuela has increased drastically since 2002. International reports indicate that cocaine produced in Colombia is trafficked to other countries, including the United States, via Venezuela.
Now, the woman arrested this morning is currently at the Nigambo hospital where the procedure of removing the drugs from her body has commenced. We are now joined by Chaturanga Haparachi, who is on location.
Newsfirst is currently standing by at the district hospital in Negombo, where a Venezuelan woman who was arrested yesterday for transporting cocaine was arrested and was produced to the Negombo Magistrates Court and is being brought here to this hospital. She had 87 pills of cocaine that was concealed in her body, and by 4 p.m. today, the Negombo Hospital doctors managed to take 64 pills out. They suspect that there is a total of 500 grams in the cache of cocaine that she had concealed in her body.
A group of students from the Sabaragamu University were injured in a road accident which occurred on the Bandaravilla-Habutale road this morning.
The collision occurred near the Ottakare level crossing on the Bandaravilla-Habutale road. A bus carrying a group of students from Bandaravilla to Sabaragamu University had collided with a truck headed in the opposite direction. 27 students were admitted to the Diathalava hospital, while 2 of them were later transferred to the Badulla General Hospital due to the severity of their injuries. This location has been the scene of many road accidents in recent years. The Bandaravilla police noted that this section of road is treacherous due to a short bend near the level crossing.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa convened a meeting of SLFP local government representatives in Negombo today.
A group including the former president, Basil Rajapaksa, Namal Rajapaksa, Dinesh Gunawardena and Tissa Vitarna attended the meeting held today. However, National Freedom Front leader Vimal Veeravansa was conspicuous in his absence. Notably, the media were not allowed to cover the local government representatives expressed their views. What he said about the FCID acting illegally is true. None of the investigations are legitimate. They use force and incite fear to chase people into prison. Complaints must come from temple trees. Ranil Wickramasinghe and the police DIG are temple trees. Anuru Disanayaka is the IGP, but it is the other way around. He is the IGP and Anuru Disanayaka is the DIG. Before making an arrest, a question is asked in Parliament. That is how they decide who will be next. Now questions are being asked about Namal, so he will have to prepare to go next week.
Former Chief Justice Sarathan Silva was also present at this meeting.
I read to see what the charges against Yoshitha were. He had purchased shares in some company. My friends, if we are to investigate the source of capital in all companies in Sri Lanka, then we will not be able to establish a single company. Various people give money. When a TV station is launched, people give money for it. If the TV station is successful, they are given shares. This is what happens. Ask how the Maharajas started their TV channel. It was money given by the tigers. Question that first instead of looking into CSN. I ask the entire nation to forgive me. Even if by mistake I had sent that man to prison back then, we could have saved this country from a very deep crevasse. As an ordinary citizen, I believe that all of the corruption and fraud that is taking place has happened under the presidency of Mahinda Rajapaksa. To him, corruption and fraud are normal things.
These are the views expressed by several seniors of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party on the attempt to form a new party and the party's future.
If anyone wants to leave, they can resign from the party and leave. There is no issue. If anyone wants to leave the party and remain in parliament as a separate group, then there is still no issue with it. But they cannot play those games while in the party. They can leave the party quite openly. We were patient about it all this time. But come this week, we will take creative measures against them. We have already suspended the membership of 7 persons who are Pradesh Sabha chairman. But from now on, it wouldn't matter who it is. It may be a parliamentarian or otherwise. Close alliances nor family ties will not be considered. Within the next 2 to 3 months, cases will be filed against 33 persons on the charge of stealing public funds. Such cases have already been filed against a few. So they are trying to form this party before this so that they can deceive the people, saying that cases are being filed against them for forming a new party, but not because of stealing public funds.
We
are aware that these persons meet with leaders of the United National Party at night. We are aware that those who strain their voices and scream meet with the United National Party to save themselves from certain issues, which is why the United National Party has laid a condition saying that they will intervene to solve their issues, but they have to contest separately and break up the party. So are we the ones who are undertaking this contract? It is those who have given this contract who are trying to break the party.
You can share, but before that you have to sow something in order to reap it. What are we sowing? We need to till the soil. When the executive president has expressed his willingness to ensure the victory of our grassroots level local politicians, they are refusing and are saying they will form a new party with Mahinda. They want to form a party with Gamman Pilla and Vimal Veeravangsa. Dear God, we have seen this in the past. I remember Gamini Dissanayaka and Athulat Mudali, who were very important to this country. When I went for Athulat Mudali's funeral, I saw the banners at the Borala cemetery. One of those banners proclaimed that they would follow the path their brother has taken.
Banner එකක් තිබුණා සොහයුර ඔබ ගිය මග අපද යමි කියන. හත්තිලව්වේ එකෙක්වත් ඒ ගිය මග ගියේ නැහැ.
Well, that did not happen because all of them returned to the UNP. I am someone who worked towards the victory of Mahinda Rajapaksa, and I voted for him because he was the chairman of our party. But after winning the war, we saw how he tried to take his family forward on his shoulders. He gained immense power because of his family, because of Gotabaya and Basil. But was he able to continue any further?
The people of this country formed a government by thinking wisely, so do not get deceived now. I am someone who worked against President Maithripala Sirisena. Even in the previous election, the Madavachi electorate garnered the highest percentage of votes from the Anuradhapura district, and we came second for Mahinda Rajapaksa. However, despite this, Maithripala Sirisena has never penalized us for not working with him. He always asked me what should be done for Madavachi. That is how wise leaders are.
Sri Lanka නිදහස් පක්ෂය රැකගෙන ඉදිරියට වැඩ කටයුතු කරමු.
SLF local government representatives in the Karandeni electorate convened a media briefing today.
The former chairman of the Karandeni Pradesh Sabha and several former members participated at the media briefing. President Mahinda Rajapaksa should always keep in mind that the president of this country, Maithripala Sirisena, is striving to create good governance. He is taking major efforts to make a change. We have to make way for that. He is undertaking his tasks safeguarding the members of the party. He does not take revenge from anyone. If they had done wrong, then no one can help it. I ask the heads of local government to not get caught in these efforts to split the party. We have no personal anger or hatred towards the defeated Mahinda Rajapaksa. It's time for him to go on pension. If politics had an age limit, then now is the time for him to go on pension. Taking his age into consideration, instead of falling down to a lesser position from the position he held, he could respectably move away and hand over power to the one who has it now.
A meeting to establish youth organizations of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party was held yesterday.
The meeting, which was held under the auspices of State Minister Lakshmana Apabe Wardana, was also attended by Minister Mahinda Amaravira. For a president to be elected in this country, the votes of the Sinhalese, Muslims and Tamils are needed. There were extremists who took this away from us. Today those extremists are still working towards the destruction of the party. They have no regard for the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. Their only intention is to use this mode of extremism to enter parliament.
Have we forgotten? The death of rugger player Wasim Tajuddin has been a topic of much controversy in the recent past. The charred remains of Wasim Tajuddin, who was awarded as the most popular ruggerite in the year 2009, was discovered inside his car in Narayanpeta 3 years ago. The body was exhumed in 2015 after the new government was appointed to conduct further judicial medical examinations. Several months later, the Colombo Additional Magistrate ruled that it was clear that the death of Wasim Tajuddin was not caused by an accident. It was later revealed that CCTV footage related to the incident had been recovered and that further investigations were underway into this lead. The matter is still before court.
Wasim Tajuddin කියනා රගර් ක්‍රීඩකයා.
It has been a long time since rugby player Wasim Tajuddin was murdered. He was a good ruggerite. The blame was on the Rajapaksa family with regard to this murder. Law should be equal to everyone. Law shouldn't be implemented on the high-class people and the politicians in one way and on the ordinary man in another way. We know that in the past certain people who were accused for engaging in fraudulent activities were not taken before the law due to mercy and sympathy. The same should not happen in this case.
ඒක එහෙම වෙන්න බෑ.
A holiday resort constructed in Mihinthale by the Ministry of Public Administration and Management was declared open today. Speaking at the event, Minister P. Harrison made the following statement.
When we as politicians make certain decisions, we have seen instances where some public officials have gone beyond the ambit of their duties in implementing these. When this happens, they have to go to the FCID. It is not good enough to limit this to incidents that occurred in the recent past. Even if someone in the current government is engaged in wrongdoing, it must be investigated. It must be done for the good of the country. It does not matter if it is a public official, a politician, someone from the private sector or anyone else. This must happen. If anyone is smashing coconuts, seeking divine intervention to stop this, they should be struck down by the gods. They are looking at the status and profiles of various people. The law of this country must be implemented properly.
හරියාකාරව නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්න ඕනේ.
Water has been leaking from a pipeline in the Kantale town over the past few days. Area residents charged that although officials, the Water Supply and Drainage Board travel past this location frequently, no measures have been taken to repair the leak.
Water has been going to waste from this pipeline over the past 3 days. If they had planned it when the road was being constructed, such a destruction could have been avoided. The road gives way at least twice or thrice a week. There needs to be a proper procedure to avoid this. The Road Development Authority and the Electricity Board have no plan. This B10 road is a main road at the centre of the town, and because of their irrational decisions that are made without a proper plan, the people are severely inconvenienced. The officer in charge of the Kantale Water Supply and Drainage Board said that around 3 to 4 litres of water leaks per minute through this pipeline. As heavy vehicles travel on this road constantly, the water line on the main road gets damaged frequently. Because this pipeline is around 30 years old, necessary measures have been taken to renovate this and will be completed within 2 weeks. We are unable to locate the leak at present. Not far from where the pipeline is leaking, Subject Minister Rauf Hakim declared open an office of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board today. The office was constructed at a cost of 15 million rupees.
A group who attempted to hunt free-roaming deer in a state-owned farm in the Dumbalasuri area in Madampe have been handed over to the police by area residents.
This firearm was discovered in a wooded area last night where it had been left behind by the group of hunters. This group had attempted to hunt deer that roam in the Gorakagas Agara area in Dumbalasuri. Area residents who gathered at the location after hearing gunshots had captured the suspects. They were then handed over to the police.
We heard a gunshot at around 9 last night. Then the youth in the area came to have a look around in the estate. We saw a cab and a bike. We stayed near the road, and when they came out, we caught them.
2 firearms, 13 rounds of ammunition, a cab, a motorbike and several other weapons that were in the possession of the 3 suspects were also taken into custody by the police. Police added that the guard at the estate was also taken into custody on suspicion. According to area residents, around 500 deer live in this estate.
The locals in Navalapitiya have been compelled to spend day and night in fear due to the constant sightings of leopards.
A Newsfirst team set off to Navalapitiya following a phone call it received claiming that the area is facing the constant threat of leopards.
Many villagers in Sri Lanka face a threat of wild elephants. However, the locals here in Rosella face a different kind of issue. That is a threat of leopards. This issue has aggravated to the level of a human-elephant conflict.
Even when our team arrived at the village, several tracks of leopards could be seen. According to locals, just a few days before our team arrived to their village, a leopard had hunted down a house dog.
Goats and cattle have also been hunted like this. Almost all the goats in the village have been hunted now.
With the increased nature of this threat, the villagers have been compelled to cage their cattle.
Several persons have been attacked and have suffered serious injuries. We don't go far to cut wood. We do these things in fear.
It was reported that a woman who was tying cattle was mauled to death by a leopard while another youth was seriously injured. Even though wildlife officials were successful in capturing a leopard which was terrorizing the area over a year ago, locals say that the threat has continued to rise.
This
is the best evidence that can be provided to prove that these villagers are facing the threat of leopards. These are the remains of a dog that was hunted down by a leopard.
Our cameras were unfortunately unable to capture footage of the leopard during the day, as they tend to remain in hiding during that time of day. However, signs of leopards living in the area could be seen.
This is a rural area. Night falls when one returns from the town. The road is treacherous. In the night, we travel in fear. Sometimes we come back in a 3-wheeler.
There are a large number of leopards here. We are living in fear. We have informed the police of this, but they have not shown any interest. We are afraid to send our children to school. It is difficult to go out at night for an emergency. We live in a forest area. There are leopards here, so we are afraid to go to work or even send our children to school. The leopards snatch away the dogs in the village. When we open our doors in the morning, the first sight is a leopard. Please give us a solution.
The Socialist Youth Association organized a program in Mathura in line with the Valentine's Day.
The program, which got underway at the Mathura Beach Gardens, was titled "Come Find the Color of Love." A number of programs were organized for the youth who attended the event.
Our special request on Valentine's Day is to abolish the concept of dowry from this country. If parents wish to give any property, they can do so. Therefore, there is no need for a dowry. This is a wrong system that has continued for many years. So at this beautiful location in Mathura, we request the authorities to abolish the dowry system from this country. Instead, protect the jobs of the young men and women of this country.
The 59th season of the Symphony Orchestra of Sri Lanka will be held on Saturday the 20th of February at 7 p.m. at the Ladies College Main Hall. Rehearsals for the concert were held today.
The orchestra will perform Beethoven's Piano Concerto No. 5, The Emperor, which is the best known and most frequently performed of Beethoven's 5 piano concerti, and Prokofiev's Romeo and Juliet ballet suites, which contain some of his most performed pieces of music. Keiko Kobayashi, the Japanese conductor who has thrilled the audience with her dynamic conducting, will direct the SOSL's first subscription concert for 2016.
I have conducted the Symphony Orchestra of Sri Lanka since 2013. This time we perform Prokofiev's Romeo and Juliet. I want to try to make Russian music, Russian color, and Shakespeare world.
Shanti Das will be the solo pianist of the concert.
Sri Lanka won the silver medal today in the men's 50-meter rifle shooting event on day 10 of the South Asian Games. Sri Lanka also won the bronze medal in the team mixed triathlon.
Gayani Disanayaka, Lakruwan Vijayasiri, Dinusha De Silva and Nuwan Kumara made up the Sri Lankan team at the team mixed triathlon at the South Asian Games today. The Sri Lankan team won bronze with a time of 1 hour, 32 minutes and 5 seconds. India and Nepal won gold and silver respectively. A notable participant in the Sri Lankan team which won bronze in the 50-meter rifle prone women's team event is Upeshika Egodavela. Sports First Nadishan Medin, who is covering the events in Guwahati and Shillong, joins us with more. Upeshika Egodavela, who was part of the team that won bronze in the 50-meter team rifle shooting event, is a mother of twins who are only 2 months old. Both her children are with her in Guwahati. Sport First is preparing to bring you all the action tomorrow.
India continues to dominate the medals table at the South Asian Games with 157 gold medals. Sri Lanka, who have won a total of 164 medals with 25 gold, are in second place, while Pakistan are in third place. Bangladesh are in fourth place, heading into day 11 of the Games. West Indies roamed to a first ever Under-19 Cricket World Cup title today with a nail-biting 5-wicket victory over India in the final held in Mirpur, Bangladesh today. Sri Lanka were bowled out for 82 in the third and final T20 against India today, leaving the Indians a relatively easy target of 83 to claim victory in the series and the #1 spot in the ICC T20 rankings. Incidentally, this was Sri Lanka's lowest score in T20 internationals. And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of News First Weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.